uncut and unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. This is your boy Martin G. Johnson, aka the Crime Chaser, Navigator 2, Teamwork Englewood in the house. And we got a great podcast this afternoon. Talk about public safety. Now, these are numbers. Now, we're giving you guys numbers now, numbers. And we want to let you guys know the great work that Teamwork Englewood is doing in the community with their community partners as well, right? All right. All right. I'm talking right here to Cecile, right?
Cecile.
The executive director right over here in the U.S. Bank building on Halsted, right? So we have a slide today, and we want to show you because we had an amazing program last night, right? And it was beautiful. Food was laid out, and I mean, you had so many community partners, which I didn't know you guys are partnered with a lot of people. I seen Target area. I knew Think Outside the Box. I knew them. I was good. Then I said Good Kids, Mad City.
Yes, they're really good youth partners.
Right, I didn't know that. See, I'm learning. I'm learning. So come on in, people. Share the video. We're gonna talk real quick and share some data with you. What's going on here, right here in Englewood now, right here, and this is real time, in real time. And so briefly, this is what we was talking about last night. The program was going on last night. So she's going to break it down for you guys. And I'm going to listen. I'm going to ask some questions too. I'm definitely going to ask some questions. You know, I love asking questions, things like that. So I'm going to put the on the screen so we can just get started. And if you want to, wait a few more people come on in. Just wait till a few more people come on in.
Well, I also would like to share the context of what yesterday's meeting was too. So Teamwork Englewood is the convener of a community plan called the Englewood Quality of Life Plan. And that plan was developed by community residents. We're on our second plan as a community. And the plan brought together hundreds of residents, stakeholders, elected officials, and we spent time going over data.
Hold it right there.
Yeah.
You said something very important. You said we.
Yes.
So you didn't just make up something, you included all the community.
100%.
That's important. That's where
a cool story about the plan that we're using right now is that I initially joined the Quality of Life Plan prep work and the kind of like voting and prioritization as an Englewood resident volunteering.
Okay.
So I was just coming to the meetings, volunteering. I was doing a project, the Englewood Square Mall at the time. And I went from being a volunteer in the planning process, giving my feedback and my input, to then becoming the project manager, to then becoming the executive director.
Wow.
So the plan was kind of my entry point into Teamwork Englewood.
Okay. So hard work does pay off, huh?
Maybe.
Dedication to as well.
I would say community work is always about, not giving up.
Right. I know I'm doing a lot of community work. Trust me. It's not a lot of big money. And, your heart is in it. It eventually pays off.
Yeah.
I'm here,
Yeah, I love, community planning, community organizing. I've been community organizing for over 20 years. I know I don't look.
See, I like the fact when you say community organized, you include the community.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Now, some people, they don't include the community. Say, this is what you get and this is how it is. And we kind of know about our new state's attorney, So, she didn't include the community.
Yeah, a lot of the things that happened that she made changes on, they just happened. There wasn't a lot of consultation for sure. And that is kind of the heart of yesterday's meeting too. The special quarterly meeting we have for public safety is that a lot of Teamwork Englewood's public safety work is coming from what residents said that they wanted to see or felt were best practices after they did the research with us. They, looked at the best practices as well. And then we said, okay, this is what we feel like will work for our community. And not only do you do the implementation of it, but you study and you evaluate it too, which is important.
Tell us a little bit about, I know not really getting off subject, restorative justice.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, restorative justice is a big umbrella of things.
Well, with the youth.
Okay.
With the youth.
Yeah. So we have been doing restorative justice and embedding it in all of our programming even before I got here at Teamwork Englewood. My personal experience of restorative justice is I was an advocate with Chicago Public Schools to embed restorative justice in the school system with a lot of coalition partners a long time ago. But one of the things we've talked about before on your show is that Englewood is one of the communities that has a restorative justice court. So certain offenses actually come out of the county court system and come to this kind of smaller court system right here in the community. And then the support that they're needed, instead of it being through punishment through the criminal justice system, it will be work that is done with partners. So if they're looking for employment, if they got caught with a gun, but they don't have a violent background, supporting them in that way, having them even learn different kind of education and personal development and coaching. And, the last time we were on your show, we talked about that's 18 to 24.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, 18 to 24. Want to make that, so because now you out there old as me, out there carrying guns now. I don't know about that. Yeah. All right. But that's a great program. You guys said you do like a peace circle too as well, right?
Well, we do community peace circles. So we have been teaching young people and our school-based staff to understand how to do circle work, right? And if I was to tell you, I think over 100 young people we have taught circle work since I've been here at Teamwork Englewood, and the youth team has really led on that, giving young people the tools to think about conflict differently. We even evaluate, do they understand circle work after being in programming with us? And now we do community circles. So now
how's that working out?
Yeah, it's been great. So we did 1, 2, 3 so far this year. We did one last year, and we'll invite partners, residents. We just did a circle this month with women in public safety. Seeing that women needed a space, women who do violence interruption and women who do even public safety policy. We did circle work with them. Having them participate in the circle is also healing, but also having them learn how to do circles by being involved in it increases their work.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a question. Probably someone else out there thinking, Englewood, you guys wear Teamwork Englewood, you wear so many hats. Just give us a rundown on how many programs you guys have. There's just so many of them.
We do have a lot of programs. Yes. We've grown a lot. The Quality of Life Plan also helped us with that growth. We would say, hey, you know what? We want to do this health and wellness programming. The residents want to do this. And sometimes we'll try to have partners help, and it just wasn't giving us the impact we want. So then we would try and we would pilot things. Same with our reentry program, which you talk about a lot on your show. We'll try, what would it look like to have pop-up legal services? Then we saw the demand and we said, this isn't working. The pop-up is not working. We have to create it actually stabilize in the community. And that's when we started to expand the legal clinic. So part of how we approach the work is we try to do things with collective work. And then sometimes we try to pilot things as well. There's a lot of programming too, Martin, that it's just our partners doing it, and we're their cheerleaders, we're their fundraiser supporters, and things like that, because we see our work as collective impact, and we know that teamwork can't do everything. But when we have decided that we want to do something, we want to do it well.
Now, let's talk about the real quick. We're going to get to public safety, the expungement program that you guys are having. Tell us about the attorneys that you have right here.
Yes. So we've had a full-time attorney on staff, maybe going on 2 years, that really had increased our capacity. We had paralegals at first. We were doing pro se petitions, but having the full-time lawyer allowed us to have a lot of cases. And you've been a part of seeing our growth, hundreds of cases.
I remember I did it live one day. Everybody got mad. They ran out of space. Got mad at me.
So with a recent grant that the city of Chicago awarded us, we were able to bring on more lawyers this year in 2025. So we right now have 3 lawyers.
Wow.
And we have 4, I believe, paralegals. And this is allowing us to ramp up our support in Englewood and some of our neighboring communities like Fuller Park and Auburn Gresham, Grand Crossing. So if you're here and you're hearing from those communities, now we have some support to help any of those neighbors in those communities get their records expunged and start that process.
I want to say, for those of you that's seeking to get you, we're having a sponge. What is October the 17th?
Correct.
Yeah, October
Yes.
the 17th.
Mhm.
You know, you could actually, I should have put the flyer up there.
I know. I was just thinking about that.
Oh my God. Mark, forgive me. Forgive me, Mark. I know you're gonna kill me. But I'll get it when she get on a slide. I'll eventually get to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want you guys to sign up. If you've been out of trouble, off probation or parole for 3 years.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, there's 3 years, and you can qualify for that. Now we can't promise that things are gonna happen like magic like that.
Correct.
It's a process, so don't get in here and just say some
Mhm.
things are not expungable. I know one is arson, and other one I know some domestic violence.
Yeah, and if you
And
have a case outside of the state of Illinois, that's also complicated
right.
as well.
I'm sorry, y'all.
It's Mark calling you to say put the flyer up.
Wow. So I mean, wow, this is, you guys are growing. I didn't know you had 3 lawyers. I remember 2.
Yes, we have 3 lawyers right now through this support through the city of Chicago. We've been able to scale up the some of our capacity, and fingers crossed we'll be able to continue this growth, because what we've learned is community-based legal services is very important. You know, a lot of the legal services that are available for Chicago residents right now can be very centralized downtown, and they're overwhelmed trying to serve the entire city. We've had this has been a really good journey to show the need, and that sometimes place-based community strategies really can improve the quality of life for residents.
Right, because I think they haven't one downtown. I'm not going to say it. It's on the 11th, I think, October 11th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for expungement.
Yeah.
But we having one here on the 17th, so make sure you guys sign up. I'll probably leave the flyer at the end of the show and put it up there for us and all that.
No, that would be good. So we both won't be in trouble.
Right. I'll tell you, because Mark will kill me. Mark will kill me. Public safety, people. We ready to get to this slide? Or
yeah.
Okay.
So I was talking about, how we get to this space. So our public safety work is one of, I call them working groups that came out of our 2016 plan. So our quality of life plan, in addition to creating the plan and the vision and the measurements, we've been meeting on the plan almost every month since 2016. There was a little gap during the pandemic, but think about that.
So it's working.
I'm going to say yes. It's working when residents are leading public safety work and coalitions are stronger. One of the things I said last night is also, I never want to just say public safety is better, because people are still being impacted by public safety and gun violence and violence in general. And I always want to create a conversation where we're making space for their hurt to still feel real. And it is real. You know what I'm saying? And so I try to be very careful about the numbers, right? Because you can say that crime is down, but people could still feel unsafe. And that's important. Yes. So I try not to have this very black and white conversation around really complicated issues, because then people don't feel heard when they're saying, no, I'm hurting and this thing is impacting me and continues to impact me. You know what I'm saying?
That's correct.
So that's how I like to talk about public safety. I said it last night too, that we're seeing some promise. We're seeing some best practice. We're seeing some things that work, because to be honest, there's also things that we're going to do that don't work. And we have to have grace and humility to have that conversation. But when we cling to numbers, we'll sometimes cling to, things that we think are absolute, when sometimes stuff has to change.
That's
correct. And so that's where I am. So we'll talk about the numbers, but I want to always give space to, we've got to make people feel safe and be safe.
That's correct. That's correct. That is so correct. And as the crime chaser running around, sometimes chasing crime, and people don't. It's the victims that get left behind. It's the victims. Like I tell people, when you see videos, you should pray for the person and pray that the person that did the crime get caught. Because it's a lot of pain out here. The part that we don't see on the video. Now we see the person laying on a pavement or getting put in an ambulance, but we don't see the pain and the agony that the family goes through.
And the grief.
The
revenge. The people that feel, and all of that is so complicated and so human, And so I want to be the type of community leader that's saying, let's continue to work.
That's right. It's in progress. One death is too many.
Correct.
That's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
You know. All right. Well, let's get to this. Let's get to this slide.
Yes.
And put it up here, and you in control. You know.
Yeah. So yesterday, we do quarterly meetings.
Okay.
We've been doing this since 2016,
Right.
where we make ourselves accountable to the community and we show what we've been doing.
Right.
And sometimes our partners talk about what they've been doing, things we do together, things that Englewood residents need to know. And then we also talk about what we struggle with in these quarterly meetings. And sometimes we'll have breakout groups to be like, oh, guys, we got to go deeper in this because we're not seeing, the growth how we want to see it. Right. So for public safety, we did a partnership meeting yesterday with the city of Chicago, because in addition to the public safety work that we had already been doing, we have a special partnership this year where we combine the strategies of our quality of life plan, the communities plan, and the People's Public Safety Plan, and merge them together as a convener in that space. So yesterday, the city was able to talk about what they've been doing from the citywide perspective, as well as the partnership in Englewood. And then we talked about some of the work that we've been doing. So as you see, we also look at police beats here at Teamwork Englewood. It was one of the best practice strategies we've learned in some of our work through the Time 2136 initiative. So, we saw that we had some decline in some of our police beats in Englewood, which has been happening since about 2023.
Okay.
So we make some of this correlation to our work and our partners' work in some of these what we call hot spots.
Yeah.
And it's been catered to doing infrastructure repairs around here. If you have an abandoned house, that's a problem house. We've been very intentional with the city to go after how do we close that house up? How do we address that vacant lot? And so that's why some of that is on here. We also do saturation of events.
Okay.
Hot spots, you just can't do one event, give everybody a hot dog and then bounce. You know what I'm saying? People have to have some type of level of relationship with you, and that doesn't happen with one event. So we do multiple events in our hot spots. But you can see from the slide that we see this change from last year to this year in some of our hot spots. Everything from homicides and other violent crimes are down in some of our hot spots in the 7th district.
Now, remember, she's not saying that it's completely safe now. So we will get that clear.
Well, as an Englewood resident, I love my neighborhood.
All right,
okay, Mark?
I ain't throwing Englewood on the bus.
You bet not be.
Listen, Englewood made me famous, y'all, really. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'd like to go to the next slide if we could. Can I do it?
You can do it. You can do it. Hit this button right.
So we talked about some of our interventions that we've been doing specifically in the hotspots with our partners. We have brought in job fairs, multiple job fairs to our hotspots, employment resources. We've done like 6 large events in 2 of the hotspots.
Okay.
Every summer for like 4 years.
Okay.
Bringing those job fairs, bringing our expungement and sealing services straight to those communities, to those hotspots. And then where we also have continued our restorative justice court, our reentry services, where we support with job training and placement for those with backgrounds as well. I talked a little bit yesterday about how some of our internal job training program provides OSHA 10 certification, CPR certification.
Wow.
And we just introduced drone training this year.
I need that. I need that. I'm flying a drone without no license. Huh?
All right, we can go to the next slide too.
All right.
So what we were discussing yesterday is how we have leveraged the kind of momentum we saw in our concentrated work in Beat 712 and Beat 725. So if I was to tell you all where 712 is, think Moran Park on 57th and Racine, to about 59th and Racine, goes all the way to like Halsted, and then Beat 725 starts a little bit kind of close to Justine and Ashland, and goes all the way into like Wood Street from like 63rd to like 69th.
Now let me ask you a question. Now why do they call it West Englewood and East Englewood?
Well, technically West Englewood is one of the 77 communities of the official community map of Chicago. Okay. But the community, so much of the community just calls it Greater Englewood. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But it is technically one of the 77 communities. Okay. And if you think about it, Englewood is a huge,
it's huge. I think
community.
Aldermen.
Yes, and just even like actual mileage and blocks. Right. It's a large community. Yes. So you could see where it's like two different communities, but really a lot of us function as one greater
Right.
community, right? So I talked a little bit like what you see on here. We have Beat 712, Beat 725. One of the cool things with Beat 712 is we really adopted Moran Park.
Okay.
We was like, we're going to continue to do events here. We're going to grow relationships with everyone who uses this park. We have invested in the field house there with our partners, supporting our partners doing work at the park as well. That has been some of the work that I have loved to lean on, as we say, saturate a hotspot. Put a lot of love and intentionality. For 725, we lucked up, and our partner at Englewood Brandon, shout out to Corey Luckett.
Oh, yeah, right there with that 69th.
63rd.
63rd. And
right before you get to Ashland.
Right
his
before,
store is
yes,
amazing.
yeah, right.
But he had been activating the vacant lot at the end of his block doing community events for years. And so during the Lightfoot administration, there was an opportunity to do a pop court in Englewood. And we was like, if we did this pop court, Corey, we could really do a lot of events in this area that really needs. And now it's beautiful.
Beautiful. Because I remember he was known for having something like in the fall.
The Fall Fest, which is coming up.
Yes.
Let me see. We'll have to give you that flyer too. October, I think it's not 18th. Am I lying? Let's see. It's going to be October 19th.
Okay.
And that allows us to do basketball programs, art programs. We've done conferences, concerts on this corner in this plaza.
KRS-One came there.
Yeah, you were out there. I saw you. Yes. And so we continue that convening, but we have used the city as a partner to be like, you know what? When it comes to infrastructure investment, that's also your job. And infrastructure investment and environmental design is critical to addressing public safety. You sometimes have to address the physical environment that is allowed for public safety issues to go on. And Demetrius Files, our public safety manager, who was talking a lot yesterday,
right.
She has really transformed how the city responds and thinks about their role in addressing infrastructure issues. Sometimes she's down there in City Hall saying, I need this done and I need this time. This is my second, third time coming up here.
Wow.
And that sister, born and raised and still lives in Greater Englewood. She's amazing.
I didn't know that. I missed that part. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is nice.
And we could go to the next slide.
Okay.
So one of the things we've done for a while, is we'll also fundraise to support the capacity growth of our partners.
Okay.
Right. Like I said before, we know we can't do this by ourselves. That's not what we signed up for.
Right.
You know.
That's right.
And we have provided grants to support the expansion of youth programming with our youth partners, saying, hey, if we get more young people into your program, we know that can make an impact in public safety.
Correct.
So we've done that for years, giving out over $250,000 in youth grants to youth providers here in Greater Englewood. This year, we said, hey, we're already doing work in Beat 712, 725, but sometimes we neglect some of the other hotspots that can start to bubble up public safety issues. So we sent out a grant to partners across the community and had them submit applications on how they would use funds to bring kind of different resources that we didn't have in our programming to these hotspots. So here are some of the partners who this summer worked with us to do hotspot saturation in other parts of the community, like tentacles. You know what I'm saying? That was Target Area Development, Southside Opioid Heroin Task Force, Kingdom Avenue, which is a youth-based organization here in Greater Englewood, does amazing work. Even DJ Farley was one of our many applicants.
When I seen that on the slide, that's Farley?
Yes.
Wow.
He brought his house music truck, and he actually worked with some of those partners to bring music and entertainment to the hotspot, allow people to have a good time, express themselves through music and dance, and then come get these resources and sign up themselves or even their families for some of the follow-up work that the partners can do. Abundant Blessings Church, the leadership of that church was actually there last night too. They did a pop-up peace circle on their parking lot.
Wow.
Brought families and young people together. And they also used the popcorn for some of their work. Their church is located on 63rd and Ada.
I think I know who that is.
Yeah.
Is that tall guy?
The tall firefighter.
Yes, he was there.
Bishop Brown.
Yes,
Bishop Brown. Shout out to Abundant
Yes.
Blessings Church. He's an awesome leader.
Yes.
And they were able to, take some of the work that they've been trying to do to expand their reach outside of the church walls and do some new things. An outdoor pop-up peace circle. What?
Nice.
Yes, and then Holy Breath Conglomerates, they did work at one of the pocket parks as well as Ryan Harris Park this year to bring resources and support into that community and start to build deeper relationships with their neighbors and friends. So that's just an example.
I want to talk about, it was a young gentleman you had last night on a panel. Let's talk about him a little bit, what he does. I like, he impressed me.
Yeah, so we actually brought our partner, Think Outside the Block, that you mentioned earlier, two great public safety partner. They've been growing so much in their violence prevention work and their case management services and youth programming that they do. And we wanted to have a young person on this panel. So for the listeners, the panel discussion was about what does the future of violence interruption and public safety look like? And we wanted this panel intentionally so that both city and community could hear what we are potentially losing in federal cuts to violence prevention. And I know a lot of people have different opinions about violence prevention, but that is a resource for people. And we wanted folks to explain to the audience and our residents what the impact of violence prevention has been, and then also what we potentially lose. And I think sometimes we're only talking about the peacekeepers and the violence interrupters, and they are a critical part to the work. But we also wanted people to hear from the administrators and the young people who have been doing some of this work and being benefited from this work, to kind of cut out some of the rhetoric that's not being based in fact. Right. And so, that young man did his thing, explained, the benefit of the work that he did. So we got to hear straight from, a Black young team doing programming and violence prevention work with Think Outside the Block in Englewood. Then Target Area Development was able to share what these cuts have looked like for their programming services. And then that, for us, was the popular and political education, and then helps us to go back to the next meeting and say, what do we do about this? And not just having conversations internally. The key was the city was also in the audience.
Yes, they were. They were present. I've seen Manny, what's his name?
Yeah. Even Deputy Mayor Gary and Gatewood heard it. The panel discussion.
I have a question for you. Now, for those organizations that are doing the work here in Englewood, now, how do they find you guys if they want to be a community partner with Teamwork?
Sure. So on our website, we actually have a link where you can sign up to get the EQLI newsletters and the meeting reminders. And then people can jump into, you get to choose, I think on the form, whichever task force you're interested in, and we'll send you the information about when that meeting is coming up. So we have public safety, housing and public spaces, health and wellness, education and youth, and jobs and economic development. And we've got cool things happening in all of those. We did a quick kind of summary at the beginning of the meeting yesterday, even though the bulk of yesterday's meeting was to discuss public safety.
Right. I just want to do that. I mean, you guys are doing amazing job. Not because I work here with you, but I'm just amazing. This next slide?
Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
All right.
So like I shared with you earlier, our team is really dedicated to doing the right things, right? And so we like to look at the data. That's what we're doing this morning. We always huddle up. We'll look at our internal data, external data, see what it's showing us, and then also use the community wisdom and our own knowledge about what's happening in the neighborhood to put a perspective on this, right? So with our summer impact that we did with our partners, we had 6 of the mini grantees that we talked about. They each partner did 5 activations. So that's 30 additional activations of public safety work we were able to do. We had 3 hotspots impacted by this, and we serviced about 15 to 35 residents per event. So we touched close to about 1,000 residents this year with that work. Now, we're still working on some pre and post data. We had some surveys that we wanted our partners to do. So we're still looking at that data from the actual events. And then we'll go back to the partners and say, hey, what did we see? What are we learning? What did people tell you? And if we do this again, what could we do better as a strategy? That's how you do public safety work, right? You do something that's rooted in community wisdom and data and best practice. You take a look at what you've been able to intervene and do, and then you say, hey, is this something we want to continue because we saw some promising data and some promising perception in public safety decrease? And then you figure out how to scale it up. And that's kind of what we've been trying to do here at Teamwork.
Right. Now, this is not on you probably clipped it out. I did see that you guys at the library. I think it's today. Yeah,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're having a video game event for young people at the Kelly Library today. I could send you that flyer
Okay, you
as
can send me that
well.
too. Send me that.
And so young people can come in and
Right.
drop in and play some of the more popular video games and build community together. Today's no school for a lot of CPS
Right.
students. So instead of, wondering and maybe, idle
And
hands,
it's at nighttime too.
it's on purpose.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
On purpose.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good strategy. Good strategy. I've seen it. I was like, wow, okay. It makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Who came up with that idea?
Well, a lot of our ideas for events are residents and young people.
Oh, okay.
Our organization, our youth programming is led. Young people lead our work. They say what they want to learn about. Like this year, they learned podcasting and videography, and other of our youth partners like Kingdom Avenue, Think Outside the Block, Englewood First Responders. These young groups do the same thing. They
By
have
the way, I'm
strategy.
on the board of Englewood First Responders.
Oh, you go! Shout out to Charles McKenzie.
Shout out Charles. All right. Wow, this is amazing. You guys are coming together in Englewood. It's doing great work here. Great work. Great. I didn't know you guys had that many community partners though.
Yeah, and that's only public safety.
Okay.
So when you come to some of our other task forces, you'll see that there's a lot of collective action work happening.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Don't let people say, oh, folks are unorganized in community work. You got to sometimes have critical thinking to think about who said that and what's their intention. Right. Now, everything's not perfect in community work. Community work is hard,
yes,
but you always got to think critically about who benefits from a narrative that things are unorganized.
Right. That is correct. That is definitely correct. Anything else that we should talk about? I'm trying to think about that meeting last night. It was just so. Our
quarterly meetings are always fun.
Wow, that was nice.
Good food, good decor, good content, good networking. We've played games. You can go on our YouTube page and you'll see some of our other past quarterly meetings. But we've had March Madness competition events. We'll do a New Year's resolution type of event. We want people to come and know that they're going to have fun, learn, and be involved.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So your community partners, you got the young people, the middle-aged people, and everybody has a say. I like that.
Yeah, you'll come to some of our monthly meetings, Martin, and we just getting fussed at the whole meeting, and that's good. That's community. Right. And there's some meetings where we're like, okay, we're going to get ready for this next step, and everyone's pitching in. We're putting an event together. We're starting a program together. You never know what you're going to see.
And important thing you said this afternoon, that you look at the data, and that's real important. We know in the golden rule in social service, if you don't write it down, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So you have to keep the good numbers, good record keeping, so you can know, okay, now we see where we here now. Now where are we going from here? What are we going to do?
And sometimes if we're seeing, we're like, okay, we're doing this program, but something doesn't feel right about it. Not all data is data that comes from the census and comes from labor statistics. We've literally stopped everything. We're doing that. One of our programs are now. We stopped one of our programs and we're saying all we're doing this year is a needs assessment. All we're going to do is survey our participants in this program and do focus groups with them and see how we can better show up for this population and we feel we can address better. We've done this with our Englewood Women's Initiative, with our small business competition. We usually have a huge small business competition. This year, I said, no, I want to do a needs assessment. I want to review what has been the experience of our past participants and grow our programming. We can't serve our community and do the same thing and then see that the results are not where. Sometimes you have to pause and you have to be humble and you have to say, let's go back to the drawing board with our participants at the table. So like a lot of the things that we've changed and made pivots is because we went back and talked to residents and they were like, I didn't tell you all this, but I was struggling with this. I was struggling with that. Our digital and adult literacy came from that. Okay. We were not seeing the placement numbers we wanted in one of our education job programs that we have for parents in the neighborhood. Right. It was like, what's going on? We went back and saw that they were struggling a little bit with the test. So we started doing adult and digital literacy programming to support some of our job seekers. And that's because we said, no, we have to figure out what this is and created a space for them to be honest with us. And we used that community wisdom to change our programming.
I want to break down something real quick. I noticed you use the word. I know what it is. Hot spots. For those that don't know, kind
Yeah.
of tell us that too. You know
So hot
what is considered a hot
spots.
spot.
Can I tell a story?
Tell a story. Go ahead.
Okay.
We got time.
So
You the
I
boss.
have I have my youngest. If you know me in this work, my children are with me all the time in the work.
You got a dancer too, right? One of your.
That's the one I'm about to tell you about.
all
Yes,
right.
there's a dancer. If he's listening to good music for 2 minutes, no one has control anymore over him. But he, one day, one of our public safety coordinators was looking at a heat map. That's what they're called, right?
Okay.
Where you see they have a concentration of a darker red color where there's been multiple incidents of a crime.
Okay.
So my youngest came over messing with the public safety coordinator. Well, he was messing with him first. They were playing in the office. And my son came back. He says, he looked at the map. He said, the darker circles, he pointed to him. My son was kind of learning to talk still.
Right.
And he said, spots bad, spots hot.
Okay.
That is what it is. It's where there's a concentration of crime happening in a specific area. And some of the maps on how you display this is through a darker red color.
Okay.
So it may be little spots of red throughout of a map, but when you see like a larger circle of red, that's usually mean that there's all of this concentration. These little dots all made this like big red dot.
Okay.
So that's kind of where that vocabulary comes from, and calling it quote unquote a hot spot.
Okay. I want to know because a lot of times they're like, Martin, what is a hot spot? Some people don't know.
No, I can. I see that.
So I was kind of putting my mind in the audience, man, been thinking and all that. So,
and our work has found in some of the hot spots in our community were also areas that had poor infrastructure.
Okay.
So a park, a vacant building, a vacant lot was being used for activities that brought high crime, which is why environmental design and infrastructure is important. And that's why leaning on the city to help us with that sometimes is a part of the work as well.
Wow. Never looked at it like that way, because
poor lighting.
Yeah, that's true. Poor lighting. Yeah.
We were having issues in 725 for years. And when we looked at the map, it was all of this happening under the 63rd and Ashland train station. So we were like, well, what is happening there? Well, a lot of people are leaving and getting on.
Right.
At night, it was such poor lighting that it was giving people an opportunity to, bring ill intent to those people coming in and off the train. And we worked with 7 District at the time and CTA to increase the lighting under that train station.
It's much better.
To support it. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Who came?
I want it more brighter though.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, it's better. It's I always say it's a progress in work. It's just everything had to have a budget. Oh, well, it's not enough budget. We, you know how it goes. So,
maybe.
Man, that's it. That is amazing. You guys are doing great work right here in Englewood. I work with the re-entry program, and it was amazing for me just to come and sit in and just watch. Explain to me, and I know Mark, I want to know about the little gargles. How them guys be? Yeah. I remember when you guys first got that program. I said, what do they got them doing?
Yeah.
Can you explain it a little bit?
Sure. So in our reentry program, we do job training, and our associate director, Mark Mitchell, started working with this company called Transfer VR, and they do job training using the headsets, the VR headsets. And they do like light construction and manufacturing training there. You can hear them sometimes in the office where they're like using tools. Right. This program has given a lot of confidence to our participants because, sometimes using a tool, if you've been in prison for a while, you might be kind of behind on your skill sets, forgetting some things, or maybe you went in at a time where you didn't even have an opportunity to get introduced to a workforce pipeline for yourself. They get 2 weeks of just working on the VR system, learning things from blueprint reading to plant safety, and different kind of measurements. That makes them more confident when we can place them in manufacturing or like construction positions. And the cool thing, and I love when Mark says this because this is true, it's like, okay, well, what if I was in a job training and let's say I'm in a classroom setting and I got a book and paper and all of this stuff? I might be kind of intimidated to say I'm struggling with the materials.
Hmm.
In the VR training system, the only person that knows you're struggling is you.
Oh, wow.
And you get to, stay on a particular part of the curriculum if you're struggling with it and continue to work through that on your own.
Wow.
So then there's none of this, like, I don't want to ask the dumb questions, or I'm intimidated, or I can't focus. That eliminates some of that.
Now, when you originally started, you guys, Mark, was that like a pilot program you just test, but now it's permanent now?
And we've added to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember because I when I was coming, I was like, "What's these guys?"
It does look different.
It does look different. People, trust me. You
think you're like, what is happening here? Right. But they're learning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's great. That's great. Well, that's all I have for today. Anything else?
No, just reminding people if you're
announcements.
The flyers, and just go to the our website to look at the quality of life plan work. Then also we have special links on the website right now. If you're an organization and wants to learn more about Know Your Rights, our paralegals and our navigators are going out and doing trainings for organizations and different groups of people. I think it's important that we remember, I know the National Guard conversation seems distant, but we never know. But our community needs to know it's
so we don't have to be in Englewood in order to get your services.
Not right now.
Okay. All right. Y'all hear that?
We're in the Southside communities right now.
Okay.
So like I said, everywhere from like Fuller Park to Grand Crossing, I think even Gage Park.
What about Auburn Gresham?
Auburn Gresham, okay. Yes. We've got a team that's just doing that. And I think it's great timing for people to remember their rights when they are encountering law enforcement. And as we said on one of your shows, those who live in 7th District, which is the Englewood District, there are some new protocols for those who get stopped with a gun in their car. Yes. And it's important for you to know your rights. And it's important for you to also understand that elections have consequences on what kind of policies and practices are then used by, a position such as Cook County State's Attorney.
Yeah, that is correct. That's a whole nother show, That's a whole nother show. Wow. So quick question for those of you, again, Mark, I'm making it up. Come to the expungement, go to the website, October the 17th, right?
Yeah, and follow our social media channels, Facebook and Instagram, because all of the flyers are up there as well for all of our programming.
Okay. All right, that's it, people. Any questions, anything, just leave them in the comments. I promise you, if I don't get back with you, I'll make sure Mark will. I won't borrow the.
Thanks, Martin, for letting us jump on your show today.
Thank you. So, all right, people, y'all already know what it is.
You already know what it is.
What is it?
Live,
and what?
Uncut, unedited,
and what?
Tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black.
Thank you, people. Make sure you guys share the video. Share. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I promise you I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you so much.